sentence, Mohammed? What is the sentence?
She was skeptical about his promise to finish the project on time.
Okay, so she hears information from outside. He said he was going to finish the project on time. And Muhammad, Pachu, what does she believe him? Does she believe that he can finish the project on time?
No,
Mm,
Go ahead, Pachu.
mm, maybe or may not be, but she's expecting.
Well,
Yeah.
she maybe she hopes, but she's not sure.
Yes.
She doesn't believe him. She doesn't really believe him. Kind of means she doesn't believe him. Let's think of it like that. Maybe that would be a good way of thinking about it. Pachu, how will you say the first three words of that sentence?
She was skeptical.
Okay. What do you think is the big word in that? And if you think about those first three words, which word would you say is the big word?
Skeptical.
Skeptical. Where's the big sound in that word?
Uh, Kep.
Skep.
Kep.
Skep.
Kep. Yeah.
Skep. Okay. So she was, that will sound very small. She was skeptical. Can you say it like
She
that?
was she was skeptical.
Okay. Muhammad, can you say that those first three words? She was skeptical.
she was skeptical.
How do you think you would add the next two words, Muhammad?
Skeptical about his
About is. Is that a big sound or a little sound?
small.
Small. So we have small, big, small. We have she was skeptical about his. Can you
About his.
can you say the whole phrase? She was skeptical about his.
She was skeptical about his
About it. She was. Can you say tickle?
tickle
Tickle about.
tickle about
Tickle about his.
tickle about his
Skeptical about his.
skeptical about his.
She was skeptical about his.
She was skeptical about this
What is the next word, Muhammad?
promise.
Does that have a big sound?
Promise, yes.
Promise. So prom, that's big, right?
Yes.
Okay. So can you add that word to our phrase? She was skeptical about his promise.
She was skeptical about his promise.
Pachu, can you say that phrase? She was skeptical about his promise.
She was skeptical about his promise.
Okay. How will you add the next two words, Pachu?
Uh, to finish.
How does that word to usually sound in the middle of a phrase like that?
Is a to
To,
finish.
to finish, to finish, to finish.
To finish.
Which is the big sound in that phrase? To finish.
To finish. Finish. Pin.
Fin. Okay. All right. So you see how we're building our big, small, big, small, big, small, with all the important words being having a big part. So
Yes.
she was skeptical to finish his prom. She was skeptical. She was skeptical about his promise to finish.
She was skeptical about his promise to finish.
And how would you add the word "the" to that phrase?
To finish
Finish
the.
the. Finish the. She was skeptical about his promise to finish the.
She was skeptical about his promise to finish the.
Okay. Can you say that, Muhammad? She was skeptical about his promise to finish the.
She was She was skeptical about his promise to finish the
Okay, what is the next phrase? What is the next word in that phrase, Mohammed?
project.
Okay. Project. Project. Is that a are there any big sounds in that word?
Project.
Which sound is
Pro.
pra? Pra is big, so we'll make that big here. Okay. So we have she was skeptical about his promise to finish the project.
She was skeptical about his promise to finish the project.
Okay. Can you say that, Pachu?
She was skeptical about his promise to finish the project.
Okay. What is the final word in our phrase, Pachu?
It's on time, on
Okay.
time.
Now, when you have a phrase like that, which word do you normally give the emphasis to?
It is second on.
Well, on time. You know what? It is on time. On time. It is though. Usually it's the first word, but actually here it's the second word. So that works pretty well with us anyway. So we'll
Yeah.
emphasize the word time, but it should be anyway.
Yes,
All right.
time.
So now we have a wonderful big small big small big small pattern. She was skeptical about his promise to finish the project on time.
She was skeptical about his promise to finish the project on time.
That's good. Mohammed, can you say the whole sentence?
She was skeptical about his promise to finish the project on time.
Skeptical, promise, finish, project on time. She was skeptical about his promise to finish the project on time. Try to emphasize those big syllables.
She was skeptical about his promise to finish the project on time.
Okay. Mohammed, how many phrases do you think we have in this sentence? How will you divide this sentence into phrases?
Two,
Two? Okay, what are the two phrases?
promise and to finish.
Okay, so you want to separate it here? All right.
Yes,
And what do you think? Would you like to sound friendly and nice when you say this phrase, or would you like to sound serious or educational when you say this phrase?
serious.
Okay. Now, in the first phrase, she was skeptical about his promise. What would you say is the most important word?
Promise.
Okay. All right. So should we say that high? Should we say promise? Or should we say promise? Which one?
Promise.
Low? Okay.
Yes.
So we'll make that blue. We'll make that blue. And how should we start our phrase? Should we start it with a high tone or a low tone?
High tone.
Okay. So she was skeptical about his promise.
She was skeptical about his promise.
Mhm. She was skeptical about his promise. Pachu, can you say that?
She was skeptical about his promise.
Okay. Now, in the second phrase, Pachu, what do you think should be the most important word?
So project
Project?
and then finish and then finish.
Okay. She was skeptical about his promise to finish the project on time. I don't think that's neutral because if you emphasize, if you make project the most important word in this phrase, that means not the emails, not the presentation, but the project. So
Yes.
I don't think that's neutral. I think probably the more important word would be time. Do you
Okay.
understand why? Do you understand the difference?
Yes. Yes, because the project is always finished on time.
It seems like on time is an adverb in this sense. So uh, usually the adverb or the adjective will be the thing that you want to stress, but also it seems that most of the time the most important, not always, but most of the time the most important word will be very close to the end of the phrase.
Yes, yes.
Now, do you want to sound serious or do you want to sound friendly and nice as you say this?
Yeah, the serious
Serious? Okay, so how should you say it? Should you say on on time or on time?
on time.
Okay. So we'll make that blue. How should we start the phrase? Should we say finish or finish?
Is a high tone. Is
High.
a
Okay.
finish.
So we'll start high and then we'll just move down to the low as we say the word.
Yeah.
So to to finish the project on time.
To finish the project on time.
She was skeptical about his promise to finish the project on time.
She was skeptical about his promise to finish the project on time.
Mohammed, can you say the entire sentence?
She was skeptical about his promise to finish the project on time.
Mohammed, can you make a how she feel? This is going to be a question in the past, okay? How she feel about his promise? How would you make a question in the past with how she feel about his promise?
How she felt about his promise.
Okay, well, you have to use the question form if you're making a question. What is the question form of she felt?
Um, how did she feel
That's right.
about his promise?
That's right. Say it again. Make that question again.
How did she feel about his promise?
What is the most important word in your question?
How, how,
How? How?
yes,
Can you say that?
how,
How?
how,
How will you put the word so that should be longer because it's very important. How? How?
how,
And then how will you add did she? How does that sound?
how did she feel about his promise?
Yeah, so we have how, that's big. Did she feel? How did she feel? So we've got big, small, big. How did she feel?
How did she feel?
How did she feel about his promise?
How did she feel about his promise?
That was really good. Pachu, can you make that question? How would you say that?
Yes, but I have to say one thing, sir.
Okay.
So in sentence, his promise or her promise is talking about her or another person.
I don't understand your question. Can you repeat that, please?
No, in this sentence there is his promise.
Uh huh.
It should be her promise or is his promise.
Well, imagine she is the boss and John is her employee, and she says, "John,
Okay,
John, can you finish the project on time?" "Oh, yes." "Okay." And she thinks, I don't believe him. So she was
okay,
skeptical about John's promise. She was skeptical. Does that make sense?
okay. I got it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
How would you make that question? How did she feel?
How did she feel?
Don't forget to whistle when you say the word she. How did she?
How did she
That was good.
she
That was good.
how did she
That was
feel
that last one was
about his
sorry. But the last one was really good. Go ahead. I won't interrupt.
okay? How did she uh, keep? How did she skeptical?
How did she feel?
about
How did she feel
okay. How did she feel
about?
about his promise to
Mhm.
finish the project on time?
That's right. What is the answer, Pachu?
S- Uh, she was skeptical about his promise to finish the project on time,
What does that mean that she was skeptical?
as she's she has hope that the project will finish, but not sure.
Yeah, well, it doesn't mean that she has hope really. It's just that she doesn't believe him.
Okay,
She has doubts. Maybe she
yeah.
hopes. She probably hopes so. If she's asking about it, she probably hopes so. Mohammed, how did she feel about his promise to finish the project on time?
She felt skeptical about his promise to finish the project on time.
Mm-hmm. What is the? Can you read the next sentence, Mohammed? What is the next sentence?
He worked as